Hey everybody, Rob Smith, member of the board of directors for the Almond Glen Owners Association, current serving president for the Almond Glen Owners Association. So first and foremost, I know a lot of people have questions about these pool fobs. Every home in the neighborhood was given a pool fob when we first started the system up, and over the years people have purchased some extra pool fobs, and then we sell replacement pool fobs. So if you recently purchased a home in Almond Glen and you did not get one of these little blue discs, basically like a little keychain thing, then you can either, if you know how to reach them, reach out to the original homeowners, ask them, hey, where's the pool fob? Go through your realtor, see if you can find out from them what happened with the pool fob, or you can buy a new one, a replacement. So on the back of the pool fob is a little number if by chance you have one that's not working, and it may be reversed here, but there's a little number, this little number right up top here. That is the number that we need to check it. So if you've got a pool fob laying around and it doesn't work for some reason, once the pool season starts up, if you go up and you scan it and you hear a beep but the gate doesn't unlock, that means that pool fob has been disabled. Usually what has happened is, could be that somebody in that household lost the pool fob and then you just found one in a drawer someplace and you're like, oh, here it is, and maybe they never found it, or they recently found it and they just threw it in the drawer. So you come back to us, and if that one's assigned to your home, I'll be able to re-enable it for you. You can just shoot an email over to almondglenhoa@gmail.com. If you have a pool fob that you go up and you scan, it doesn't let you in, and you say, hey, Rob, this pool fob isn't working, and I check it and it doesn't belong to your home, it's not your pool fob, and it can't be reactivated for your home unless you want to pay for activation, which is basically paying for a new pool fob. A lot of times what happens is somebody moves out of the neighborhood, and as they move out, they go, hey, neighbor, here's a free pool fob for you to use. And they leave the new homeowner without a pool fob, and they leave their neighbor with an extra pool fob. But we don't, they're all tracked and they're locked to different homes, so we don't allow that. So yeah, if you need a pool fob, you can reach out to us. Pool fobs are $20 this year for a replacement. However, starting off, we're getting ready to kick the pool season off. So generally speaking, we discount them initially going in. So they'll be $15 starting the season off. So $15 right now, you can get a replacement pool fob. At least, usually we'll try to do that for at least a month. So we've got May, June. Let's say that through the end of June, you can pick them up for $15. After June, as you go into July, and you are allowed to have an extra. So if you have one pool fob and it would be more convenient to you to have another pool fob in the home, for $15 you can get a replacement pool fob, so or an extra pool fob. I have a handful of these available. You can write a check to the Almond Glen HOA, or you can pay with cash. I do not have change. Maybe I'll have some change. I'll try to get some change together before the weekend. My goal is to set up a time this weekend, and if I can look at my calendar real quick, I'll give you a time when I'll go sit at the pool and sell pool fobs to folks that want them. Let's say Saturday from Saturday from 11 a.m. to noon. I'll put that on my calendar. This Saturday, the what is today? Is today the 15th? I want to double check my dates. Yeah, this Saturday the 16th from 11 a.m. till noon, and I'll send out a specific message about that. So pool fobs out of the way. Let's jump into some documents that I want to show you, and I'll go over some different things that are going to happen with the pool. If you didn't catch the meeting the other night, here's the important things you need to know about the pool as we start our season off. Okay, so first and foremost, from DHEC's website, this is the South Carolina Health Organization that handles things like pools and everything. Here are the guidelines that they put out that apply in general to any place that's under their control, under the Department of Health and Environmental Control. If it falls under them, here's a general guideline. So employers are responsible for providing a safe and healthy workplace. All organizations have to determine how to best minimize the spread of COVID-19 in the workplace as well as in their community. In order to reopen and successfully remain open for business, everyone individually and collectively must actively participate in the core recommendations. So they've used the terms in there, we must actively participate in these core recommendations. So here are the things that you are required to do by DHEC standards in order to open up the pool and keep the pool open. We have to self-isolate, which means if you're sick, stay home. That should be just a no-brainer in general. And I think more than ever, people are understanding, don't come to work and don't come to the pool with a little bit of a cold and it'll be fine. Stay home. Practice social distancing of at least 6 feet to the greatest extent possible. So nobody's going to be standing up there checking everybody to make sure you all live in the same household and following you around with a 6-foot stick, a yardstick of some sort or something like that. But do your best. Wash your hands frequently, 20 seconds with soap and water. Use hand sanitizer or the use of hand sanitizer that contains, they now say at least 60% alcohol. It used to be 70%. I guess it's just not easy to get 70% anymore, so they're lowering it. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects, keyboards, phones, and surfaces, handrails, workstations, or remove unnecessary frequently touched surfaces, trash can lids, that kind of thing. So initially, as we open up the pool, there'll be no attendant at the pool. So if you come into the pool area and you're handling things, I just ask that you wipe things down that you're done with. Be clean with stuff and try your best to keep things as clean as possible. And then as we get going with our attendants at the pool, they'll be there in the afternoon during the busier times of the day doing that kind of sanitation and everything. So if you've got little ones that you take up there to the pool and you're afraid that they're going to touch things and then put their hands in their mouth, might be a good idea to have a little hand sanitizer with you and just keep their hands clean. You want to avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth and unwashed hands. You want to strongly consider wearing a cloth face covering when in public and not in the pool. Do not use on children under 2 years old, people with difficulty breathing, or people who cannot remove the mask themselves. So again, that's strongly consider wearing. Nobody's requiring that you wear a mask up to the pool. Cover your mouth and nose when you cough or sneeze. Avoid using other employees' desk phones or other work tools and equipment when possible, and minimize the use of soft surfaces like cloth-covered chairs, area rugs that are more difficult to clean and disinfect. And our chairs and equipment that's going to be up the pool, we cannot keep that all clean constantly. There's no real easy way to do that. Even when we have an attendant there, they can't run around behind people cleaning all the time. So that's going to be one of those you need to actively to participate. We're in kind of a weird, unique situation in that we all are members of this organization. So you are a part of the HOA. So it's your job to actively do these things as well. Guidelines for public swimming pools. Facilities should only allow 20% of the normal occupancy, 5 people, staff and visitors per 1,000 feet. And I had a specific number I got last night that told me what the capacity would be. So for us, the max capacity, and these are the things that are recommended for us. So they're not something we have to actually do, but we'll do the best we can, for the most part. 41 would be our max capacity right now if we're going to maintain that 20%. So if you go up to the pool and it looks like there's more than 41 people there, maybe come back a little bit later. That's, again, just a recommendation. Person-to-person interaction and activities between members of separate households, limited social distance is 6 feet. I think that's pretty easy. Commonly used surfaces such as bathrooms, doors, handrails, ladders, gates, lawn chairs, drinking water fountains, picnic tables should be cleaned and disinfected between each use by a different person or a minimum once a day, and we'll have people there cleaning every day. So that's going to be covered at least minimum once per day, and then you can take your own steps to protect yourself throughout the day. Hand sanitizer should be provided by all staff and visitors, for use by all staff and visitors. We'll try to get some hand sanitizer up there. It's a should be provided. It's not a must be provided, and I would recommend you bring some hand sanitizer these days. I think if I put a bottle of hand sanitizer up there, I think we all know somebody's going to come along and take that bottle to go home and put in their house. So I don't really know how we can keep hand sanitizer at the pool. I think it'll just get constantly stolen. So I'll probably bring my own hand sanitizer if I go up to the pool for my daughter. So we'll have signs. It says signs and or examples of 6-foot areas related to social distancing should be posted. So we're not going to put markings all over the ground or anything like that to tell you what 6 feet is, like at the grocery store. But we will have some signs posted up that basically cover those things at the top that tell you what to do. We'll always have to follow the pool regulations. That's fine. We got that. And then says to remove from service or regularly disinfect shareable equipment. We don't have any real shared equipment other than just your chairs and stuff. And what we're planning to do is put out around 50% of the furniture to start the season off. And then you can bring your own pool furniture up to the pool if you'd like. We're not going to do any lane reservations or family groups. We're not planning to do that. That's probably a little too much. And then a phased approach to opening that brings back lane swimming and a limited number of participant classes. That's more for people who are attending classes and stuff. We don't have anything like that going on. We don't have lifeguards, so don't worry about that. CDC guidelines regarding cleaning, disinfecting. That's just what they're looking for as far as like how long you should clean. And then there's guidelines for public pools, water, and playgrounds. So overall, that's kind of the breakdown there as far as what the state is telling us, what the CDC is telling us, and how we should move forward. So the plan is to open up the pool on Monday, May the 18th at 8 a.m. I think it's supposed to be a rainy day. So probably with the, it's always this time of year where the weather's kind of in and out. Memorial Day is kind of the traditional day to open, but we always have tried to open a little early if we can, and the board opted to do that again this year. It's just going to look and see the daily weather real quick. We'll see what it looks like. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're looking at a passing shower to a high of 85. So it might be an opportunity to get in the pool on Monday. And then Tuesday, high of 76. It's going to cool off on Wednesday with some rain. And looking at Thursday with some rain, thunderstorms on Friday. And then it looks like, if everything goes well, going into Memorial Day weekend, should be nice out. So let's cross our fingers that this first week be a little bit of a opportunity for us to get into the pool season, kind of figure out how this is going to work with COVID-19, and then go from there. The reality is there's no way to open up the pool and completely 100% bubble protect everybody. It's just not even remotely reasonable. And I think the guidelines that are set forward and the way they're setting them forward are pretty reasonable, that they're saying, hey, here's what you can do. Now, I mean, you could go out to California where they're planning to keep everybody on lockdown regardless of what happens for the next couple months, from what I understand. Unfortunately, we've not had the problems that some places like New York have had. And we're also in a state where they've made some decisions that have allowed us to have more freedom to make decisions for ourselves as citizens. So a lot of this is just going to come down to using common sense, and when common sense doesn't apply, reading the rules that the guidelines that have been placed up there, and making decisions that are good for you and good for your family. As always, if you don't feel like it's safe to go to the pool, I recommend you don't go to the pool. If you feel like the only way for you to participate at the pool is if we do some sort of a regimented lockdown where everybody has to stay within their certain box and bubble, and you can only have 4 people in the pool at a time or something, you want some very, very restrictive measures to make you feel safe, then I recommend you don't go to the pool, because the board, 1, we're not going to do that, and 2, we don't have a way to really enforce that. That would be, it would just be lunacy. It'd be too much. Now, with that said, the board has said and agreed that if things get so out of control that just nobody follows any guidelines, nobody listens to any kind of rules and regulations, people just act like they have no sense whatsoever and almost intentionally try to just not follow any kind of rules whatsoever, then we'll just have to close the pool. And nobody wants to do that. I mean, the board has bent over backwards this last week when I asked them to meet so that we could get these things done, because I think a lot of times people think as the president of the homeowner association, I can make the decisions and I can just do what I want, but that is 100% not it. I had to get the board to agree and to give me the authorization to do things like open the pool. And then our new pool company, Carolina Pool Management, they're bending over backwards to get things done for us, because they're really trying to struggle through the process of how do we respond to this. And we kind of made it clear that we understand you're working through it, so we'll work with you, but we want our pool opened up. So that's where we're going to go. And they were hesitant, nervous, confused, trying to work through it a little bit. It's a new pool for them this year, but at the same time, the message I got from Ann Waters this morning was she's excited about going ahead and getting a pool opened up, and it's going to be done, and she appreciates that we're willing to work with them, and we understand that, they're still working on things like getting their attendants trained and ready to work. So I anticipate by Memorial Day weekend, we'll have an attendant there. And with that said, let's talk about our new pool company. This is the pool attendant agreement for Carolina Pool Management out of Charlotte. This is our new pool company this year. Took over after we terminated our contract with Aquatech. And we're excited to have them. Looking forward to having them in here. They've got a good attitude, and hopefully it'll move forward very, very well. So we've got our pool agreement in place. It's around a $21,000 contract. For those of you who wonder, what is the cost of having a pool company? We can do a pool company where we have them just come in and do maintenance. That's much cheaper. They come in, they do a cleanup in the morning, wipe things down, clean up stuff, and then they head on out and they keep track of our chemicals, and that's it. And that is much cheaper. But we've always opted to have somebody there to come around and clean things up and to help us out if we've got some enforcement of some issues with people bringing glass bottles or something like that in. We try to make sure we have that covered. So the way we opt to do it is we flex the time out, and this company has been willing to work with us, because a lot of companies, they're like, either you have a pool attendant or you don't. And we've got them to work with us where we don't have a full-time pool attendant, which keeps the cost a little bit lower, but at the same time, we have to have somebody there, so they're willing to work with us. So they go through, they do things like startup equipment, they vacuum the pool, they clean the pool enclosure areas, inspect chemical feeders. This is all the stuff from beginning of season. It talks about removing pool furniture from storage, that kind of thing. Clean and chemically balance the pool, schedule preseason health department inspections. That's all taken care of. Here's what we really need to make sure everybody understands. And then I've also got somewhere a list of the duties for the attendants, and I will post those duties up at the pool. As you come in on the left, there's a little notice box there where you can post memos and stuff, and I will post up the attendants' duties there at some point so that anybody coming in can see it. So as you can see, our original planned opening date was Saturday, May 16th, and then we were going to run through Sunday, September 20th. So we wanted to kind of go a little deeper into the not the winter, but the fall, just because I think that's usually when people like to use the pool the most. It seems like normally what would happen is Labor Day rolls around, which this year Labor Day is Monday, September 7th. So normally Labor Day rolls around and most pools close down. It's kind of hard to get attendants and staff as you go into that off season too, because people take these as off season jobs from their other jobs. So, school kids, stuff like that, people in college. So as we go into September, that's usually when we lose our pool time, but it stays warm longer. It seems like if I'd have opened up the pool 3 weeks early in May, obviously this year, for sure, it wouldn't have done any good. So opening up the pool even a week earlier than Memorial Day, you can see the weather isn't quite there yet. But in September, generally speaking, it's warm. So we're pushing out. Labor Day is actually Monday, September the 7th, and we are pushed out all the way to September the 20th. So that's how we flexed out our time. Hours of operation, as you can see, the 3 p.m. to 9 p.m., Monday through Sunday, that is the times when the attendant is there. That is not the operational hours of the pool. Our operational hours are from 8 a.m. until dusk. Dusk is free floating throughout the year. We've never set a specific, you must leave the pool at 8 p.m. or something like that time, because as it gets into the long part of the summer, you get days that go 8:30, maybe it might even be 8:45, and it's still pretty light outside, not really into that dusk time frame. And then as it rolls into that September time frame, by September, 7:30 might be dusk. So rather than set a specific time and tell you have to leave the pool during these dates at this time, we leave it to good judgment of it's dusk. The attendant is there until 9 p.m. The attendant will be the one to make the sensible, reasonable call of, okay, everybody, it's dusk, it's time to go. So if the attendant tells you it's time to close up, hopefully people follow that and do what they've asked. But the attendant should be there until 9 p.m. That gives them time to straighten up and clean up before they head out. And as you can see, there was an adjustment for school days, but that won't really matter too much. There should be one pool attendant on duty from open to close. And again, our open for them is 3:30 p.m. That's when they'll arrive. And the reason we do that, again, is to flex out the hours and to make sure that the places cleaned up during the busier times. And we've noticed over the years, seems like kind of that mid-afternoon is when it really starts to get busy. Now, Saturdays and Sundays, it might get a little busier in the earlier part of the day, but generally people take care of things for a while, and then as the day gets a little long, your attendant will show up. They'll come through, straighten up, clean things up, and you'll have that, especially important during this COVID-19 thing. You'll have somebody there doing a lot of cleaning and everything from 3:30 to 9 p.m. So that gives us some coverage. And as you can see, we're paying a rate of $18 per hour for attendance. So I don't know what the attendants are making. Hopefully they make that entire $18 an hour, but that's what we pay them, or what we pay the company, or the added rate, I should say. So I know, long video. Not everybody will watch it, and those that do watch it, I appreciate that you took the time to watch it. You'll have the most information, and maybe you can dispel rumors or explain things to other people. And for those that don't watch it, they won't know, so it won't matter. But this is where you get the most information. It's the easiest way for me to tell you what's going on too. So I will post up a notice again, telling people I'll go up to the pool and I'll sit there from 11 till noon this Saturday and sell pool fobs. And then we'll have other times where we'll make the pool fobs available, but for anybody who's looking to get one right away, I'll do that. And I've only got a handful of them, so it'll be a first come first serve. If I run out of them in the first 10 minutes, I guess I'll go on Facebook and tell people, hey, or I'll put a little sign up at the pool saying ran out of pool fobs. Get you next time. Any questions or anything, you can always email the board of directors at almondglenhoa@gmail.com. That is the board email. It goes straight into us. You can also contact the management company. You can get Ashley's email straight off the almondglenhoa.com website. She's right there posted on the front. Any concerns or anything, feel free to reach out to us. And we just ask that everybody kind of bear with us. The goal was to try to bring normalcy to the world as fast as possible, and it feels like for Almond Glen, the normalcy for us is getting the pool open so that people can begin to move into enjoying summer. Get out there. The chlorine will kill the germs, they say, so we should be fine with swimming around in water. The sun will affect the germs, they tell us, so that should help out too. And hopefully we can start putting this whole thing behind us and moving, like I said, to some sort of normalcy. So I hope that for the most part, that makes people happy, and I hope that we've moved in a direction that people ultimately can look at other neighborhoods that are saying, don't even talk about opening the pool until June. I know one neighborhood that said they're not going to open their pool until probably July. I know that there's been other neighborhoods who flat out said no sooner than June, and it'll be interesting to see how things go from there. So everybody take care. It's Friday, May the 15th. A couple more days, and we'll have pool season started.